Hey, it's me, Puppet DM, and I'm here to tell you all about the sponsors we have here at the Wandering Society. We're sponsored here by Mage Hand Press, makers of a bunch of 5th edition supplements, like the Book of Kobold or their series of new classes. And don't forget, Arcmada, the amazing sci-fi fantasy campaign setting for the world's greatest role-playing game. Be sure to check them out at store.mageandpress.com. Up next, we have Roll20. It's the platform we use here at the Wandering Society to play all of our games. It's easy to use, intuitive, and it now comes with dark mode. Be sure to check them out at roll20.net. We're also sponsored by Art Talsorian Games. Art Talsorian Games make great RPGs, and they've been doing so since the early 90s. Check their books. They've got Cyberpunk Red, which Simon tells me has been played here extensively, Castle Falkenstein, which also has been played here, and The Witcher, which has also been. Okay, we get it! Check them out at your FLGS or online at rtalsoriangames.com. Have you ever wanted to wake up and smell the coffee? Well, now you can with this next sponsor, Found Familiar. Get yourself some damn good coffee at foundfamiliar.com and use the code on the screen to get 15% off. What do you mean I can't drink coffee? What the fuck is felt? And we couldn't end this segment without talking about our good friends at Die Hard Dice. That's right. As a Dice affiliate, we are proud to partner with Die Hard Dice to bring you only the best in shiny click-clacks. Click-clacks? What is... Ow. You can check their ever-growing collection over at dieharddice.com and use the link below to get 15% off. You're putting this all on me? I better get a cut.
Miss Folly Watson?
Yes, that'd be me.
Kirsten Bellamy? The Archons gave you a time for your interview.
Of course they did.
1 a.m. Miss Watson, could you state your name and or current identity?
Certainly. Folly Watson. That's with 2 L's and a Y. And then lineage is Malkavian.
Do you think Mr. Porter has the best interests of Montreal at heart? You feel in that moment something try to pierce your mind.
Uh-huh. Just so that they don't think I can hear them, but I'm trying really hard to hear them.
Ooh, bestial failure. Welcome, everyone. What is this Roll20 window? It's actually not Roll20, ha ha ha. I lied. I just need to fix this very quickly. That's because my Roll20 is not up. So while I fix this, hello everyone, welcome to tonight's episode of Montreal by Night. I am, of course, Simon at Wandering the I'll be your storyteller for tonight, and in lieu of the introduction, we had a little taste of what's coming up during break. Basically, as you might know right now, the Archons are flooding Montreal. And, well, flooding. They've arrived. And they are looking into things. And that includes the other kindred that inhabit this city. And for the next couple of weeks, I believe, we will see how these interviews happened, how they went. Some of them happened before they met with Arthur and Flory last week. And some happened after. So that's yeah, very interesting. On that note, I will leave my players to introduce themselves and we will jump back into things. Let's start with the person who's under the city and not being interviewed by an Archon. Hello, Trooper.
There are lots of kindred under the city. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of kindred under the city. I am Trooper SJP, and I am playing Dixon, who is visiting with friends at the moment and has no plans on having any conversations with any Archons because he does not acknowledge their authority. So, because yeah, so that I'm sure will go over very well, but he has no plans on talking to the Popo at all, ever. And I'm sure that will be real good. And I think that's me. Ta-da.
Up next, we have Flory. Hi, Deirdre.
Oh, hey, everybody. I'm at Deirdre Donlan on Twitter, or Praxgora Thesmophoria is seen around here on Twitch, your friendly neighborhood Prax. And I get to play Florica Flory Winters, your friendly neighborhood Ravnos, who, fuck it all, deserves a vacation and a bigger paycheck. I'm pushing for a yacht. A nice one. But she is also currently underground after being mostly restrained in front of the Archons until they got creepy and really inappropriate, and then she just laughed in their faces and left. And didn't insult them to their face. Looking for her friend, question mark, Dixon. Under the city. Wants to make sure he doesn't, suddenly end up in the river at dawn because that would be bad. Unconscious, floating vampire popping up like daisies and then going whoosh. That'd be bad.
And last but not least, tonight, Arthur Pope, hello.
Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope Robo on Twitter, Pope Robo on Twitch. I lurk around all your streams, and tonight I'm back with the Montreal by Night crew playing Arthur Pope, those are pronouns. Yachts are real expensive. How about a Chinook? Will a Chinook suffice?
Like the wind?
No, like the utility military grade transport chopper.
It's a very nice. I don't want to Flying is okay, fine, maybe we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Can I get a Lear?
No,
I can get a Cessna.
that you can. And things are complicated. We have the world's smelliest rendition of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner underneath the city. And Arthur is not in tune with his beast anymore. And that's going to be a problem.
Yeah. How much of a problem is it going to be, though, I wonder?
It's already a problem.
So I think, without further ado, we should probably head back in the sewers. But not with Dixon. We'll start with Flory. Flory, last we left, you were searching for Dixon.
Yes, following the water downriver. Moving at speed, but carefully so I don't slip and fall into the river. Paying attention,
It's been a hot minute since you went down into the sewers. There's really no... Like, if Dixon had been taken by the current, there is nowhere else he could have gone. Like, there are no forks in the sewer system. It all goes in one direction.
Yes,
You're
particularly
fairly
this
certain.
aqueduct system that we're in, right?
Yeah. However, as you proceed further, and the smell of the sewers of sewage water just becomes like permeating everything. It's just ever present. Could you make a wits and awareness check, please?
Yes, and as just a reminder for the GM from the end of last session, she does have
Heightened
Sense
senses
Beast up.
Oh, Sense Beast.
Sense Beast. She doesn't have heightened senses. She has Sense Beast.
That's good. This is not a beast. This is not a vampire, I should say.
That doesn't mean anything. I can sense other things too. What you said, wits and awareness?
Wits and awareness, yeah.
Uh-huh. And she has the Vicks Vapor Rub underneath her nose.
It's doing a lot of heavy lifting.
3 successes.
Yeah, I didn't call the difficulty, but that would have been a difficulty 2. Yep, actually, you see it before your sense beast kind of kicks in. This large, malformed rat. At first, you thought it might have been like a fatberg, like a piece of a fatberg. In a part that's more aqueduct than anything, so it's always a little stranger. But then the fatberg began to move, to shuffle, and stagger up, and then leave, squeezing through a crack that seemed to lead downwards, away from the water, but farther down underground. As it does so, you see most of its skin basically stretches until it looks like just this long beige colored sausage that pops with blood and pus when the other end doesn't really fit in the crack anymore. And when it does, when it releases that little over into the water, there's a tiny hint of vampiric blood in there. It's faint. It's way not enough for that thing to be a vampire. Best guess might be a ghoul. Or might be something that recently fed on a vampire unknowingly. And that's just, you know, the Vitae working through the system. Keeping your successes, you head down, and eventually you notice a makeshift drawbridge. It's made of half-rotten plywood and 2x4s, held together with rusty nails, a bit of duct tape, and like twine in some places. It's, instead of being just lifted like an actual drawbridge would, it's lifted and then fell onto its side. You can see the system of pulleys to bring it up. And even from your side, if you wanted to, you could get it to lower and cross it.
See, the nice thing about being unseen and absolutely silent
So the
is
things
that you're
you
unseen.
do don't make sense. Don't make sound.
This is true. But the pulley system is already in place,
Yep. Yeah,
which means
and
the
it's
lines for the drawbridge itself are already in place.
yeah. No, it looks like it's been made for people to cross from either side of the tunnel. Like, it's the first sign of, let's say, sentience that you come across, or intelligence, I should say, that you come across.
Cool. She's going to pick up a small rock or a piece of pebble that's on the ground, you know. If she has to knock like a little piece of brick off the side of the aqueduct, she will. She'll pick it up, bounce it in her hands a couple times, and then chuck it at the drawbridge itself.
I mean, it makes a noise. It makes like a pock that echoes a little bit, but honestly, the rushing, the water is not madly rushing, but there's a steady flow. Thus, there's steady sound. That
Yeah, it's the sound
mostly
of water, but-
muffled the sound of your pebble hitting the bridge.
Yeah, but usually if you're a person who lives near water, you're used to hearing the water. Things that are not water, you are used to not ignoring.
Yeah.
But she looks at it and she goes, am I polite? Am I a bitch? Am I polite? Am I a bitch? And then she'll like check her phone to check the time and see exactly how far from dawn it is. Because she's got a timer for that. Like,
Yeah, you met the Archons. That was around.
we did a breaking and entering. We met the Archons. I've been messing around down here.
At this rate, actually, it would be. So it would be past, because I need to, you know, there was an intro with Folly earlier.
Yeah.
So I need to make sure I got all the timeline right. I just need to figure, again, sunrise. So normally it is in... Oh, I don't want today. Ah, thank you. Which day are we in game? The 19th, I believe. No, wait. Wow.
Yep, Monday, October 19th,
19th.
2014.
Cool. So sun up, sunrise is at 7 a.m. It is currently, we'll say 3 a.m. You still have a good 4 hours. Coming back will take you at least 45 minutes for sure. And then you know you have a certain amount of time that you'll be outside on the street.
Yeah.
Before you get to either your car or, well, which is at Arthur's anyway. So if you don't want to cut it too close, give yourself at least an hour.
She sighs, puts the phone away. Hello, I'm sorry to bother you. Have you seen a... Wait, remind me, how tall is Dixon?
He's like 5'10" and lanky.
Have you seen the 5'10", lanky, black gentleman? Probably looks a little rough. Vampire. Just checking on my friend. Don't want to bother you if you're not, wanting to meet people.
And we're going to pause there because we need to rewind the clock a little. And we need to check on Dixon.
I'm hanging out with my friend, waiting on his girlfriend.
I know. I just had to remember what it was.
It was okay.
In fact, it's better than that. It's Enzo.
I know.
He said last time that, she was bound to arrive, and you hear ruffling of fabric coming from beyond one of the brick walls.
Gonna sit up on the cot. So just
And
more polite.
someone pulls
Half a jaw.
the brick apart, like opens it up like it was nothing but a curtain, a semi-solid curtain. And in pokes a stark white head.
I stand to be polite.
She has thinning white hair, bright, like dark red lips that stand in stark contrast to the rest of the face, except perhaps the eyeliner that she has. A little button nose, but the thing that you notice probably first, before even her like misshapen gait, is her teeth. Her two front teeth are about an inch long, and they end in very tiny points, and they both almost curve and cross each other. The rest of her mouth looks like broken shards of glass. She's wearing an old, dirty band shirt under, like a cardigan. She's got a scarf. You notice there's a few necklaces, pendants underneath it. And a tattered skirt that looks like someone took their parents' tablecloth and made it out of. She has the one rain boot. The other foot is just wrapped in bandages. And in her arms, she is carrying, well, in mostly one arm actually, a brown grocery bag that's just wet through, like soaked through. And you see like faint reddish drop fall from it. The first thing she does when she looks... Oh, no, go ahead.
Make a little nod. I nod a little bit to acknowledge her in a polite way.
And what is this?
Who is this? I told you, we do not invite strangers. And
That's
Enzo,
my fault.
He's no stranger. It's Dixon, my friend.
It's not Enzo's fault. And of course, like the speaking is just a little bit like there's just like pieces, chunks of body
Uh-huh.
missing, So it's all a little awkward.
you have chunks missing
Wasn't-
and still look more comely than her.
I don't know. She's wearing makeup. She's got a whole
but
ensemble on.
her flaw is in her clan, so she kind of has to.
I know, but that's very judgy. You know what I mean? Like that's just super judgy. I just feel like she probably doesn't look that bad. She probably looks less bad than somebody who's only partially a body. I just feel like we shouldn't.
But she's also not judging.
That's good. It wasn't his fault. I think I just floated here. Sorry.
I saw him and was stuck on the bridge.
You should have let him stick there. Now we're
I can
gonna
leave.
have to move.
You don't have to move at all from
Yes,
my
we
account.
do. Now you know we exist. All of my efforts wasted because you idiot couldn't let someone drown.
Listen, I'm not any trouble at all. I'm not any trouble. My name's Dixon. It's nice to meet you.
Dixon,
Yeah.
I see you're one of us.
I don't know what you mean, but one of us?
And so stop this blasted music. I can't hear myself think. And Enzo just, bumps the needle off the record. There's a little scratch, and
And like, Dixon knows records. He's seen them before. And it's like, oh.
it's a very modern form of entertainment for you, Dixon.
Yeah, but I've seen them.
Yeah, no, I know.
They were all the rage.
Oh yeah. Oddly enough, are still going to be in about 10 years.
But this one doesn't wind up. Listen, I'm not a threat to you in any way. I just got injured. I don't even really know where exactly I am.
Good. Are you by yourself?
Yes, I am.
She cracks her knuckles.
In case you're thinking of killing me, there's no need for that.
Why?
I don't mean you any harm.
You exist. If you leave, and you are taken by the Sabbat, they will torture you until they know where we are.
So that is good information. So if you don't mind, the Sabbat haven't been here for 2 years or so. About 2 years ago, there was something they call the Night of Ashes, where the Inquisition came and just burned everything to the ground.
And do you really think they all died that night? Do you think it
Probably
was
not.
final death for all of the Sabbat?
No, but what I am saying is they're no longer, it's not the same as it was before. There's no Sabbat who are out in the open, so there's no one to capture me and torture me in that way. There's just a city with kindred living. It's different.
Kindred living, huh?
Well, you know what I mean. It's a saying. It's just a turn of phrase. Just going about their business. I mean, well, there's new stuff happening that's not great, but that's different, I suppose.
I'm just looking
So-
for her sheet for a moment. Okay. Then what
There's
is
nothing-
it going to cost us?
Why would it cost you anything?
No one does anything for free. What is it going to cost me for Enzo's mistake?
Enzo didn't make a mistake. It's okay. Listen, there's a whole. I'm not part of that system. I don't do any of that stuff. And your prestidigitation or whatever it is, I don't do any of that.
I don't do magic.
Isn't that what they call it? Prest. There's some system of doing things, and I don't know what they call it.
Doing things for favors.
Right? Yeah,
That's
yeah.
as
But it's like
old as the world.
not
You don't
usually
need
so
to put.
written down.
That's how bartering started.
Right. I don't really do that. I just do things for people, and they do things for me, but we don't keep tally.
And what if someone never does anything for you in return?
That happens.
You're either new or a fool. In both cases, you're safe here then.
Thanks.
She fishes in her bag and gets a liver. It still smells. It's still fresh. It's big enough. It's small enough that it is not a human, but clearly from an animal bigger than a sewer rat.
Mm-hmm.
And she throws it your way. And she fetches in and she throws like a heart to Enzo.
This is not really going to help. So then he puts it back in her, like if there's a table or some sort of area that would be closer to her without getting within her personal space. You know, some kind of not on the ground, because that seems
There's
like it
like
would
a
be rude.
low coffee table with just a lamp on it. You can just put the liver on there.
Just put the liver on the
There's
the
enough
coffee table.
stains on it that it's probably just gonna blend with the rest.
He tries to keep it neat when he puts the bloody liver on the coffee table. So not really. It's fine. So I'm just wondering. Thank you for your hospitality. I appreciate it. I have no intention of telling anybody that you exist, but if you have questions about what's been happening in the last couple of years, I can answer them to the best of my ability.
Actually, she raises a finger, and you see, like, Enzo's been, once he stopped the music, sat back on the cot next to you, and he's just been looking at her like a puppy. And when she raises her finger, he perks up. That might be payment.
For what?
We've been out of the moonlight for a while now. I
finally remember what it's like to interact with someone that can string an entire sentence intelligently.
And I just sort of like
Enzo does his
pat
best.
Enzo,
Enzo does
just
his
like-
best.
just pat him, just like a comforting. Sure. So, just I don't know. Are you? There are these politics that people do with Camarilla and Sabat and Anarchs and Kanu. There are these factions that vampires do. Are you in one of them, or because there's been politics happening above ground, and I
I've been
don't know if you-
embraced by some Sabat scum. That makes me Sabat. That's how it
Oh.
works. That's how they're
don't-
going to see me.
Mm.
That's why
well,
you can help.
I don't think it always has to be like that, though. I mean, I know people who were once Sabat, but who aren't anymore.
Be careful sometimes. People lie.
That's always the case, you know? But you can't live your life that way. Or unlife. Anyway, the city, after the Second Inquisition came in and killed lots of Savat, then the city fell, I suppose. I wasn't here at the time, but since then, it's been about 2 years. It's been sort of a free city, just kindred, just living here under no system, just free. No masters, no slaves. But just recently, that's changing at the moment, I'm afraid. Camarilla, they've come in. They think they're in charge of the city, but they've only just arrived in the last week or so, 2-3 weeks, and they're trying to consolidate their power, but not everybody agrees. I don't know. A lot of people are getting exactly what they want, so they'll probably take over sometime soon. Oh, if you're worried, you probably shouldn't go up right now because somebody called in what are they called? Archons. That's a Camarilla thing. They're like police of some sort, or like deputies or something like this. Or I don't know, like the Mounties. Anyway, so they're here and they're running around to go and find out who's good or who's bad, and probably to kill them or I don't know what. So there's at least 3 of them about. They've been brought here. So I wouldn't go up topside just yet, but I don't actually know if Archons stay long term or if they just do an investigation and leave. I don't know that actually.
You are very forthright with the information.
Why wouldn't I be?
You seem to me like the kind of man that has an ear to the ground.
Not really, but
You would not have survived this long if you didn't watch out for danger, now would you?
those are 2 different things, though. Ear to the ground sort of implies you gather information. Watching out for danger just means you gotta duck when somebody throws something at you.
So you're reactionary.
More like I just try to fly under the radar.
She puts the bag down,
I guess
scratches
like
her
you.
chin.
I did not do this. I did not lock myself in here with him.
She points to Enzo.
Out of the kindness of my heart. I did it for survival.
Well, the circumstances have changed. I don't know if that helps, but they have.
But I can't just go blindly upstairs. The
No,
world
and
above.
I wouldn't while the Archons are here.
So would you be a deer? Can you fetch the ham radio?
Oh,
He goes,
I know those.
The beep beep.
Yes, the beep beep.
Could I ask you a question while he's getting it?
Enzo, by the way, will go through the fake wall in the back and go rummage. Yep.
I was attacked by a vampire who wasn't well.
Was he wearing a coat made of faces?
No? Is that a thing?
Nothing you should worry about if you intend to live topside.
Sounds like a thing to worry about. I mean, coat full of faces seems distressing.
Like I said, not all the Sabbat perished. If it's not him, it's one of the survivors. Nothing more than mere beasts.
Okay,
We used
that was
to
my
call
question.
them whites,
Whites.
on account of their color. I think they're nothing more than frenzied animals.
So, that was going to be my question. One of them attacked me, but do you know how many there are down here? Enzo said that they just arrived, but didn't know how many there were.
Bless him. He wouldn't last a second outside of this room. They come and go like migratory birds. They were the most numerous about a year ago. I had to fend one off myself. It's been...
That's-
I see. Thought you were one of us.
Oh, no.
So you're one of them pretties then.
I don't know about that.
You don't look half bad as you are.
Thanks.
You think
So-
I look ugly?
I don't,
You can say
Nope.
it.
some things I'm not supposed to say.
Fuck your polite society.
No, that's not what I mean. Where I come from, That's not the right way to think about it. Like that. So, the question doesn't really make sense.
My mirror says every day I'm ugly.
Well, you might be a little bit different, I suppose, than where I'm from, but where I'm from, how you look is part of the complicated nature of the gifts, and it's changing and mercurial.
What the fuck
Can be
kind
different.
of weird cult do you come from?
I just am just a little bit different, that's all. Anyway,
I got it.
I just wouldn't. Oh, anyway, I wouldn't call you ugly. That seems to be something that only applies to those who are mortal, not really applies to us.
Yeah, sure.
She takes the ham radio, a little busted, from Enzo. And Enzo says,
I need to check on the thing.
she's like,
Don't
Enzo,
go out.
liver?
No.
He lives here, yes.
No, the liver. He could eat it. I'm not going to eat it.
Oh. Enzo, do you want liver?
Yeah, toss it to me, please.
Here you go.
she takes it, chucks it like a human would a bone to a dog.
Oh,
It splatters on the floor with a wet sound before it bounces like once. And Enzo just runs after it, grabs it, and he's like,
You touch now. Be right back.
okay. Nice guy.
I know. He'll die if he leaves here, though. He's not made for this life. He doesn't even understand the curse.
Well, maybe it's not a curse. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah. It's for the radio.
and we're gonna fade on that for a second so I can fucking rest my voice. Oof.
Need some golem juice.
Oh, that's I need some ginger. But we're gonna go back to the sewer with the pebble and the sentence, the announcement that Flory said, and you hear a voice echo in the tunnels that says,
Halt! Be you friend or foe, I wield the power of 10 men.
With how many women?
Like probably 30. You don't want to fuck with me. Yeah.
That's why I introduced myself. Hello, it's very nice to meet you. Have you seen my friend? I think he fell into the river and I'm trying to make sure he doesn't burn alive when the sun comes up.
I might. Care to describe your friend's face? Or lack thereof?
Well, that's slightly disconcerting. The last time I saw him, he had a very strong jaw and, very chiseled look going. But I did see the remains of the individual that he met and put a stake through. So it's entirely possible that he did some damage to himself and or others. And then he went through a wall and there was a lot of blood. And then he went through some more wall. So I'm assuming he's a little fucked up at the moment.
I think lack thereof is probably the most complicated words you can say.
Oh! Dixon!
and you see this man come out of the wall like a birthing canal. As he extirpates himself, blood all over his face, a half-eaten liver in his hand that he holds like an apple. Again, the description of Enzo, his face looks like a crisscross of scars, like people have been putting like Frankenstein monster him over and over again. And he pokes basically his chest, like its upper body, and one arm out. He's probably like holding himself onto something on the other side.
What was your name again?
Hello, it's very nice to meet you. I'm Flurry.
I can be right back.
Okay.
He goes back in. You notice the wall barely moves. It's an interesting camouflage. It's not just cloth. And
It's also not the first Nos she's met in a sewer.
Yeah. But like it's something that, has taken quite some time to make. Just by virtue of how well it's done. Inside, basically, the Nosferatu you were speaking to. First, we'll introduce herself as
Luciana Ricci.
She is on the Legend Keeper. If you want to look at her, the link, again, I'm going to post it again in chat. But if you look under the Camarilla, or is it independent? Yeah, it's Camarilla for her. She's not Cam at the moment, but it's just easier for me to have her there because this is, where she is in chapters. She gave you the radio. In exchange for the hospitality tonight. She wants you to keep her abreast of what's going on topside until it's safe for her to come out. I think you're muted.
Is there a different way to do that? To get a hold of you that doesn't involve electricity?
Can you speak the animals? Can you make them do your bidding?
No.
You really are one of the pretty ones.
Thanks. I guess. Look, I don't really, things aren't really great to have. I don't have a secure place to hold things. So I wouldn't want to keep the radio. It'd just get stolen or damaged. I don't have a place like that. So if I could, but I can leave a message in some other way.
Do you know of coded written languages?
Not a lot. But a quick study.
Do you know of the hobo code?
No, I don't know that either.
Might be better to teach you then. But that's going to take some of my time.
And she doesn't finish her sentence when Enzo pokes in and says,
Nixon! Your girlfriend here
Hey.
to pick you up.
I don't have a girlfriend.
and he turns to Luciana as he says that, and she looks at you.
Because you have brought more here.
I didn't
Should've
bring
known.
anyone here. No, I didn't bring anyone here, so I don't know who that is.
She grabs Enzo by the shoulder, by the neck of his shirt, and says, "You just a sec." Yeah.
Where should I go? Should we go together?
The exit's that way. No. You'll go alone. We will disappear.
Okay, but what if this is somebody dangerous? What
No,
if it's
she
our
said
car?
she was friend.
Yeah, but people sometimes lie. That's just...
No, her name is
Pointing to-
Flower.
Oh. Why is she here?
I don't know. People
Okay.
find each other in this world.
Less so in sewers.
Hey!
Okay.
Don't spit it till you try it.
What? No, sewers are fine. They're good.
I know lots of free stuff.
Luciana, how can I message you to let you know things are okay?
She looks around. And
I could like hit something with a pipe to make a sound in the sewers. Something.
she takes her poster of herself of her cancelled premiere from the wall and she tears it off. It tears like in half almost. Enzo gasps and she hands it to you and she says,
Simon needs to open Google Map for a second.
That makes sense. That sounds like some sort of code. I understand.
Kinda. It's a lot easier to name random streets in New York City because of how the English have made everything simple.
Right.
oh boy. All right. She says,
Corner of Industrial and St. Mitchell. Sewer by the
Okay.
Dairy Queen. Posted there.
Hey. It might be a while, and also, if you don't hear from me, it's probably because they killed me. Not personal.
Good to know my fate is in good hands.
So
Try,
if you don't hear from me, stay.
try not to get killed, pretty boy.
Well, it's not really in my control, but I'll do my best.
and she points to the wall, the fake wall. The moment you step through, you hear a breeze from back of you. The new room you find yourself into is this hexagonal room. A little bit better furnished than what is probably Enzo's room. You hear the sound of water, but not as loud as one would think this close to the sewers, well, the aqueducts. The
I
room
carefully
has
fold
a-
up the poster,
Okay.
hold it up, put it away.
The room has a mishmash of broken equipment, computer equipment, as if someone in a rage took a baseball bat and smashed everything. It's got piles of dirty clothes, a few like older grocery items left there, like laundry detergent, a molded box of bounds, like dryer sheets, a a few greenish rolls of Scott towels on which mushrooms have begun to grow. There's, on one of the walls, what can be construed as like a mockery of a kitchen with an old wood oven that's missing a leg, missing part of the top. It doesn't lead anywhere. The chimney just ends about like 6 feet up. On it is a microwave, an older microwave. You know it's old because it's beige and brown, and 2 of the buttons, to contrast with the rest, are orange. Clearly, like, something that's been there since the 70s. It is connected to a small generator. That's off at the moment. There's a bed. It's more like a pile of mattresses. There's like 3 of them piled up with haphazard bed sheets. No posters, no music. And in against one of the other walls is this full-length mirror, broken in several pieces, in several places. Sorry, missing pieces. The like patinated thing around it has been like corroded and missing and cracking. And you can see Enzo didn't close it properly, so you see like this sort of opening, slim oval opening from which you hear the that's where you hear the sound of the river rushing.
I had, with the poster folded up, I sort of look at the pieces and I think, oh, I could probably repair that. But, I don't have the time. So I move towards the other curtain.
Before you leave, could you just make a intelligence and insight for me, please? I might cough a few times tonight, just so you all know.
No successes.
Okay, but nothing bad. All right.
No.
Of course, if I don't call it, it's difficulty 2. So you...
I don't have any insight.
No, that's fine. You said you were making your way out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I just sort of look over the things and think about like, oh, I could probably repair that. I probably could repair that. Just like kind of like thinking about it, but then hustling forward so that I can try to get out before Flory gets in, because I don't want Flory to see these people's place. That
basically, let's do it in real time. Flory, between the time that you spoke to Enzo and Dixon coming out, there's about like 15 minutes that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do anything during those 15 minutes?
She checks her phone.
Cell reception is shit down here.
No, she kind of checks it, puts it away. She almost negligently starts stacking little pebbles in arrangements. Arrangements that she remembers from various trips through Europe at various points, that tie into various NOS and hobo codes for sewers. I'm just kind of like, I'm not a problem, I'm not here to bother you. And it's entirely negligent in her mind, right? Like, she's not even trying to say anything to Enzo or bother or do anything or show off like this. This is just, I'm waiting, I'm standing around in a sewer, and this is what, like...
That's like an automatism, basically.
Yeah.
And after 15 minutes, half of Dixon's face pokes out of the wall, because the other half clearly has been sheared off.
What are you doing here?
I hope you have a pleasant day. Have a good one.
They're gone.
I figured.
He's gone.
I figured.
What are you
There's
doing
always
here?
more than one. You left a white with a stake through it, a lot of blood, no body, then a big hole that looked like you ripped a hole through a wall, and then you fell into the river. So I was trying to make sure that you didn't, continue down river or down this aqueduct into the river so that when the daylight comes up in 2.5 hours
Oh.
at this point, or 3 hours at this point, you didn't fly into ash. You're welcome.
What were you doing down in the sewer?
Checking on you because there was a giant explosion. Big manhole missing its cover. Not
I
normal.
don't need checking up on. I'd be okay.
Nobody
What
needs
happened?
checking up on. That's just polite and nice things to do because you're friends.
What happened to the kindred that I staked? Is it okay?
I think so. I mean, I left it staked. And since you left it intact, I'll give it to Artie intact.
Artie has it. Okay.
Well,
We should.
I came down the sewer to make sure you didn't end up like, a crispy critter.
Oh, I'd be fine. You needn't worry about me. I'm okay. You should go and I need to get it back.
What, the steak or the white?
Both?
Okay, come on.
He follows.
Oh, by the way, the Archons, assholes. Also really, really creepy. That whole stare into your soul shit. Ugh. Always feels like they're staring through like a peephole in a girl's locker room. Never cool.
Well, I imagine that's what they do, right? I mean, they're interrogators. I imagine they use their creepy magic or whatever it is all the time. That's like what they all do.
Yeah, but I'm still allowed to call them as creepy assholes.
Oh, but I mean, that's a given, right?
No, not all of them. Some of them are just assholes, and some of them are just creepy. And some of them, a very, 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 very small minority, are drunken wastrels.
Are you okay? Did they come and get you, or?
No, I drove Artie over
Chase
there
it.
for the meeting after we did a breaking and entering. Honestly, I don't know why I don't trust the two of you with a breaking and entering. You guys, also, you can see she's wearing coveralls, and like her hair is done relatively nicely. It does not match, and like the makeup job she did, it does not match this coverall look that she's got going on.
He's wearing the same outfit he's been wearing every day for the last month. Well, he's got two outfits. He alternates between two of them.
Do we need to get you something
What?
to eat to take care of all of this?
No, just time.
Okay.
You were saying
About what?
this way, right?
Yes.
You were saying about the breaking and entering.
Oh, yes. Diana's probably very dead.
Who do you think
There is
killed her?
also, who do I think killed her? Oh, one of us who can channel enough electricity to fry all of the lights, but not fry the electrics. Fun times.
I don't know who can do that. I don't.
Maybe spellcasters.
Oh,
Lasombra, maybe Tremere. If any of the Giovanni were still around, it might be one of them. But they're messed up in the head and you don't want to deal with them if you don't have to. Oh, some of the daughters could have done it, but it would usually break differently. It would be an entirely different thing. This was an electrical explosion and not shattering because they opened their mouths.
oh,
Oh, have you met any of the daughters?
I haven't met many kindred at all.
Some of I kind of treat kindred like people. Some are okay. Some are better than okay, and some of them are just pieces of shit you to avoid.
Yeah. So we know a Tremere.
Yeah. Like, odds are he didn't do this.
Why not?
it was too public and he would get caught too easily.
But you just said you didn't think he'd do it, which means that he could have done it, thinking no one would think he would do it.
No,
And after
I
all,
think if he was an
he's-
entire if he was a different person, he would do it. Now, I'm not the person who would be ruling him out because of just, the general, he couldn't do it and therefore he's not stupid enough to do it, therefore I'm going to rule him out. It's not that he's not stupid enough, it's that he's too afraid to do it. That man has spent too long being the bum, licking the heels and boots of other people with more power than him, and he knows not to draw that attention. You saw in the whole thing when we were at the Elysium, he was paying so much attention and kissing up, but at the same time trying to get other people to pay attention to the problems and therefore cause a bigger problem. It's why, at the end of the day, he's not going to be the player to make all of the big moves because he doesn't have the cojones to do it himself.
I guess so. It's not
Honestly,
really my
he didn't
impression
even
of
try
him,
to stab me
but
in the back when I told him that I murdered his childer, or at least his publicly claimed childer.
You what? Was this like?
Oh
decades
yeah,
ago?
there's this whole thing about, well, his publicly trained individual personage that he was supposed to claim was his childer, but what really wasn't. It's a whole thing. Anyway, she was really involved in the whole thing with the circulatory system. Do you know what that is?
No, it's the thing that humans have that makes the blood go through their body.
That is true, but in this case, I'm talking about a creepy thing that the Ventrue get around because, they're all really into their blood has to be exactly right, otherwise it doesn't work for them, so they have to, oh yeah, it's this whole thing where the Ventrue, they talk about like, oh, I can only drink the blood of firstborn daughters. I'm like, really, motherfucker? That's not the big deal. You just enjoy what's there. Sometimes it tastes a little better, sometimes it tastes a little worse. It's all about the emotions. And the Ventrue were all into this thing. So there's this whole bit where they're like to try and trade in humans so they can meet each other's, dietary needs. Bullshit. I call bullshit on the dietary needs. It's not dietary, it's their preference. It's like somebody saying, oh, I can only drink 25-year-old whiskey. No, you can drink perfectly well rat gut, you just don't want to. There's a difference here, my friend.
Well,
anyways,
I mean, I don't really know anything about the Ventrue so much, but I mean, everybody's got a thing, so it could very well be they can't,
Just quick interjection. Am I to assume that you are talking and walking at the
Yes,
same
oh
we
yeah, it's a full-on Alan Sorkin.
Okay, good. Please keep going.
But she has not dropped. She has not dropped. She has not dropped. Sense Beast yet. She's in the sewer.
I
She's not
mean,
stupid.
They might need. That might be a thing with them. I don't know.
I don't know. Anyways, it was creepy. She was trading in kids. I don't deal with it. I ended it, and her.
Mm.
And then I went and had a conversation about that was not cool and should not be allowed. And because I straight up told him that she was never going to be a problem again, and it may or may not have met her final death. And he didn't do anything when I walked out the back and didn't try and stab me in the back. Therefore, he doesn't have the balls to do anything that would be as public as killing the established harpy in her own domain. Killing her probably has the possibility of doing. As publicly as this was, do you want somebody with a little bit more balls than this man, I think. You're right not to rule him out, but he's kind of like down the list of suspects.
Okay.
There's a creepy Lasombra and a Samich that are kind of higher on the list.
Ooh.
Oh, that Asian chick who was hanging around the not prince at the Elysium.
I was only there for like 3 minutes.
Oh, she was really stunning, absolutely gorgeous, but in that creepy Lasombra way where it's all like, ooh, I'm going to suck your life and force you onto a bed with my tentacles and then you're never going to move kind of thing.
Okay. I thought the Zemish had the tentacles. No?
Oh no, Zemish tentacles
Actually,
are
they're pseudopods.
Wait, was that an actual voice?
No. It's me because they don't have the suckers on.
Yeah.
Look.
No, see, the Zemish have tentacles when they want to have fleshy, creepy tentacles that kind of no, the Lasombra have creepy tentacles that come out of the shadows and pull you in. It's all very macabre. Something like out of Samish tentacles are Lovecraftian. Wasambra tentacles are more Dracula.
Okay. Well, I always got a different sort of sense from Valois, but
I mean, I'm not ruling him out. I'm just putting him slower down on the list. It's the thing of like motive, opportunity, means, motive, and opportunity, right? He had the means. He may or may not have had a motive, depending on if he really wanted to be a harpy to this creepy, new or possibly not new, depending on whether or not Val is, riding the princeling or just pretending to be the princeling. Kind of goes back and forth. Anyways, so he might have the motive. He has theoretically the means. I don't know specifically because I don't know exactly what spells he can cast, although it is possible that he could cast that particular spell. Opportunity is the question, and that would be the one that would be important. Also, the incompetence of everybody investigating it just drives me up the wall.
Speaking of going up the wall, you get to the grate at this point.
Yep.
And
I'm looking for the white. If the white is there
upstairs.
still.
See this? No. Oh, because we have to go through the aqueduct into the actual sewers.
To go into the actual sewers, to then go into the street.
Yeah.
I just wanted to briefly, while you were going through that hole, look at what's Arthur doing.
So, given everything that he has heard, the operating table has been made ready, and also has gotten into a full-on painter's get up for automobiles, respirator, full thing, and has been making crime scene cocktails, anti-file, anti-smell juice, because they are going to smell awful, and has put the cocktails next to the sprayer in the standing shower so they can hose themselves off, while also having a bucket and an artificial sponge placed adjacent to the operating table, because we're going to have to wipe down the white. All the while this is going on, Overkill by Men at Work is playing.
All right. So we have you on an upper third doing all of this, and then the rest of the screen is just these two kindred basically Flory putting Lucky up to date with, or Dixon up to date with what she had been doing away from Dixon, basically, or out of his knowledge, and her opinion on the various members of the Camarilla.
For me, Valois is the number one suspect, but I know I'm not an expert like you.
Oh, I'm not. Well, I'm an expert in murder.
And
That I will claim to be an expert in. I'm not an expert in Valois.
speaking of murder, you get to where the white was. And still is, by the way. Paralyzed, stake in its heart.
Ha
I pick it up very carefully. Well, I can't come up that way. I'm going to head down towards the great nearest Artie's place.
I'm confused. Aren't we taking that upstairs?
Upstairs is the street with people who would see this, and also me.
Oh, I get it. I'm sorry. I misunderstood you.
I can't,
just moving it. Yeah, you
to-
look like you got a whole thing going on, and it's not Halloween.
No, so I figure go head down this way will get us closer. to Artie's place, but I maybe we can put this one in the garage while I get a debrief, and then I'll go. Don't have too many hours.
Yeah, you can always just crash here tonight.
No, that's okay. Let's go. And I think he would not go where the manhole cover was, but like, you know, all the way down closer to where there'd be a grate closer to where Artie's place is, so they don't.
Yeah,
walk the streets.
like a block away, basically.
Yeah.
And you exit the sewers, white in hand. And we're going to cut for break. Oh, no, go ahead.
Bridal carry.
Bridal carry. I mean, after you've climbed out of the sewers, unless you soar leap out, but then that might attract attention.
That's fireman's carry, and then back to bridal carry. Fireman's carry when you don't have the full range of motion.
Worry has not dropped since Beast yet either.
Oddly enough, when you left the sewer, the aqueduct to go into the sewer, there was again that like faint trace of moving, sprinting away from you. Sprinting.
Moving at speed away.
Moving at speed, but I'd say like a human sprint, not say like a cheetah running or whatever.
Yeah. If it's going away from us, she's not commenting on it.
No, it's just it might have been near where the white was, you know, and you scared it off or something like that. So you make your way out. We're going to cut for break, which is going to be longer tonight for everyone because we'll go see what happened to Flory at 1 a.m. that night. Folly. Could you just have chosen characters that don't have the same name?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
So what happened to Folly? If it's around 3:30 or 4 a.m. right now, no, it's around 3 a.m. 4 a.m. Sorry, because sunrise in 3 hours. Then that would have happened 3 hours ago. It is the unedited raw footage of the entire scene, so there will be dice rolling. I'm not cutting anything out. And you will have the entire, I believe, 25 minutes. So it's kind of a break for us, for my throat, but not a break for you. And probably for the players, as there might be some interesting tidbits. See you on the other side, everyone. The Archons gave you a time for your interview.
Of course they did.
1 a.m. You chose the location, bleachers of the McGill football stadium. And as you make your way there tonight, you see just a handful of kind walking in the now chill autumn air. In the distance in the parking lot, there's a handful of cars, but actually one stands out more than anything else, a black limousine. You notice an older man, window rolled down, just waiting in the car, tapping his fingers on the wheel. The Archons gave you Hi, I'm just going to restart the thing because the break music was playing over it. My bad. Also, I apologize for the video quality. The Archons gave you a time for your interview.
Of course they did.
1 a.m. You chose the location, the bleachers of the McGill football stadium. And as you make your way there tonight, you see just a handful of kind walking in the now chill autumn air. In the distance in the parking lot, there's a handful of cars, but actually one stands out more than anything else. A black limousine. You notice an older man, window rolled down, just waiting in the car, tapping his fingers on the wheel. And farther away in the bleachers, under the light of the stadium spotlights, or those few that are still on for safety purposes, 2 figures are standing unnaturally still.
I think she just tuts a bit, like, you're so bad at faking to be human. Come on, you gotta move. Just thinks that to herself and clocks the limo, looks it over a little bit, and then we'll get out of her vehicle and go to the... actually, I bet she probably walked tonight.
Okay. And as you approach them, you notice both of them are very well dressed. You saw the images
Yes.
on Legend Keeper, and for everyone else, you already have heard their description. But
so am I.
what is Folly wearing to this interview?
Well, Folly is
Because-
always very well dressed, because she's an influencer. So she is currently wearing all black, which is a little odd for Folly, but she manages to pull it off. It's 2014, so it's one of those like ruched in the middle type dresses with like some crisscrossy straps and such, and a little like, it hugs in all of the right places, about mid-thigh, and probably a pair of Chucks, just because to offset it a little bit, because you gotta like mix the chic with the casual, and also like Converse was super end.
Yeah.
So normal, very well done makeup. She looks glowing as usual. Hair kind of pulled back, and probably a clutch for a purse with her.
Okay.
Like she's maybe going to go out on the town after this. Or maybe she already has been. It's hard to tell.
Well, yeah, at 1 a.m., I mean, you could have been. For the purposes of this, we will assume that you have fed before. So your hunger is
that's
at 1.
probably what she was doing.
Yeah, your hunger is at 1, regardless of where it was at the last time we left Folly
Cool.
off. Because it has been about a week since the last time we saw you. Same, if you had lost health or willpower, you can regain it. And so you approach the pair, a red-headed woman who is holding a briefcase closed, and the man next to her wearing the purple-tinted spectacles. When you approach within, speaking distance, not necessarily shouting, but a good, 20 feet or so, she looks at you and says, "Miss Folly Watson?"
Yes, that'd be me.
"Kirsten Bellamy?" And this is, and she looks to the man next to her, who just takes a step up and goes, "Colonel Michael Unther." Takes a step back. She proceeds to open the briefcase, get a few items out. There's a voice recorder, rather older model of voice recorder. Probably a good 30 years at this point. Ink, quill, a clipboard, pad of paper. "Would you rather sit or stand for this?" she says.
I've been on my feet all night, so sitting sounds great.
"Good. Have a seat." She motions to the bleachers.
All the bleachers, yeah. Pick one that's nice and clean, clean enough, and within a reasonable distance, close enough to have a conversational tone, and sit cross legs and just lean back on the one behind her, like you do at a game sometimes if there's not full seatings.
Miss Bellamy sits near you, legs crossed, but not leaning back. She keeps a straight back. Mr. Unther, Colonel Unther, walks up a few rows. He remains standing just behind the two of you, higher up, maybe like a 3-4 feet up. So like, I don't know, about 4-5 rows above, like a weird hawk.
Yeah, a little rude, but whatever. I'm just gonna pretend like this is a, like a TV show interview that makes it more exciting in Folly's head. So she's just, very congenial, looks like.
So she sets down the voice recorder, clicks record, dips the quill and begins to scratch the paper and asks her first question. Miss Watson, could you state your name and or current identity and lineage, blood lineage, please?
Oh, certainly. Folly Watson. That's with 2 L's and a Y. And then lineage is Malkavian.
There's like a pause. A bit of silence. And then you hear the sound of the quill writing Malkav on the sheet. Miss Watson, how long have you been in Montreal?
How long have I been in Montreal? Let's see. Think. Couple years. Not terribly long, all things considered.
A couple years. 2? We need an accurate.
Oh, gosh, let me think. She thinks back. She's like, when did I move here? Let's see. And she'll do this kind of thing where it makes her sound a little silly or nonsensical. Well, the cherry blossoms, that the botanical garden were blooming. So I guess that means that it was probably around April, May of 2012.
2012. And Miss Watson, have you been pretending to be of the Clan of the Rose since 2012?
No.
How long?
I'm sorry?
How long?
How long have I been what?
We have taken note of your social media presence. It is cute.
Cute is what we aim for.
To think that a child of Malkav could delude herself into thinking she can be something she is not.
Oh, honey, I don't need to be a Toreador to be popular.
It's not the popularity. It's the swaying of the masses. It's been proven time and again in the past that the mind of a child of Malkav is not meant to influence other. At best, they turn into demagogues. At worst, you have Jamestown.
Jamestown. Well, I wasn't alive then. I'm not that old.
How old are you, Miss Watson?
I mean, it is rather rude to ask a lady her age, but I did just say I wasn't that old, so I don't have any qualms telling you I was born in 1896. So 118?
She writes in something on the sheet of paper.
Mm-hmm.
You catch the quill making like the Y of perhaps the word young.
Uh-huh.
But it's way too long to just be the word young. It seems there's something
Yeah,
following it.
I want to use my heightened senses to try and pick up what she's putting down.
Does, as I'm frantically looking for the PDF,
Activate
does this
that.
require a rouse check to,
I don't
activate?
think heightened senses does.
I think it's fairly...
I'm also frantically looking for the PDF.
I think it's free. Anyway, worst case scenario, we'll roll the rouse check after.
Yeah.
That lets you add your Auspex rating to
Mhm.
your awareness check. So I'm gonna have
Yep.
to ask you to make an awareness check.
Certainly. I get to add my aspects reading.
We'll do wits and awareness.
Wits and awareness. Okay, so awareness. I don't have contacts in. There it is. Awareness. Wits. And then I get to add +2 for my aspects. Oop. What's the difficulty?
Let's go with just a standard difficulty 2.
Okay. 6 out of 2. I am aware of everything.
Yeah. It's not so much the movement of the quill, but the sound that each stroke
That each letter makes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's probably writing in cursive because
She is.
old people do. And I learned how to write in cursive because I'm not young, so
And she
young
wrote
for vampire. but-
young, comma, immature, question mark.
That's fine.
Miss Watson, do you know the kindred who goes by the name of Arthur Porter?
Arthur Porter.
Feared man.
Artie! Oh, Artie. Yes. Sorry, I just names.
What would you say was your first impression of Mr. Porter?
Kind of a bit of a fuddy-duddy. But nice enough.
She pauses and looks quizzically at you at the fuddy-duddy. Fuddy-duddy?
Oh, sorry. That's just some. I mean, it's not that new of a word, but you know, a bit old-fashioned, very fussy.
Hmm.
Kind of a stick in the mud. Do you know that one?
Yes.
Okay, good. But nice enough.
Would you call him a
Congenial.
traditionalist?
Well, I mean, we didn't really talk that much about, you know, his beliefs and all that. Oh, look at his little park cats. Cute. Traditionalist? I mean, maybe. Don't really know him that well.
Okay.
Let's see.
As accurate as your answers may be, given your condition, do you think Mr. Porter has the best interests of Montreal at heart?
Probably.
Could you tell us about Mr. Porter's associates?
Which ones? Who? Like, again,
We've
I don't
been
know him
told
terribly well.
he works often with a Ravnos, a woman by the name of Flory Winters.
Met her very briefly once. She seemed fine, I guess.
Have you had dealings with any other kindred in Mr. Porter's circle?
Dealings, like business relationship? Favors?
Business, rivalries, favors, boons, debts?
Not particularly. just kind of briefly conversed with a few people he knows once. That's about all, really. I don't know him all that well, but seemed nice enough. Seemed to have a strong sense of whatever it is he's doing.
Have you ever partaken of Mr. Porter's blood?
Ew.
And she
no.
like stares at you. When you answer, you can see through your heightened senses her briefly glancing up at Michael.
Uh-huh.
But he is behind you.
Uh-huh.
I'm
but
whatever
my ears are super in tune.
There's like the brief rustling of fabric, but not enough to say that there's a limb that moved.
Okay.
And she just jots down on
But
paper.
don't write down the ew. That was maybe offensive. I don't know. Strong no.
She writes uncompromised.
Interesting. Okay.
Mrs. Watson, sorry. Mrs.
Ew.
That's Simon. Mrs.
I'm
Watson.
very single.
Are you a member of the Ivory Tower?
Of the what now?
The Camarilla.
Oh.
His Highness
I mean-
Prince Hilkers moved into town recently, and
Did he? Sorry, I can't help but laugh. She's just the worst.
you would do well to take things seriously, Miss Watson. This has dire repercussions.
I'm sorry, no one's invited me to anything or told me anything. So, like, how am I supposed to know?
In the previous cities that you've inhabited, have you
the
ever
previous
given
cities-
fealty to the Camarilla?
I was kind of a recluse in all the previous places that I inhabited, so not particularly. My manager, the person who turned me, didn't really like me being social.
I wonder why. She
Wanted to
scribbles
keep me all to himself.
on
But
paper.
stop to that.
I have one last question for you,
Just one.
and please be as upfront and honest as you.
I have been like this entire time.
Have you ever partaken in amaranth?
In what now?
Amaranth.
Like the grain? Oh, I had like
No.
a really good quinoa and amaranth bowl the other day at this really hip like juice bar.
You really are a recluse. Amaranth. The licks tend to call it diablerie.
Oh, like, sucking on, other kindred. Ew.
You feel in that moment something try to pierce your mind.
Uh-huh.
Not in a harmful way.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like someone is looking through you. You can, if you want, reflexively try to block it out.
I think she does. I don't think she tries. I think it would be a reflexive thing for her because she does have some mental stuff. Because she is a Malkavian, we don't take kindly to mind intrusions
Then-
particularly well. Yeah.
Then can you roll composure and subterfuge? But I will give you the difficulty in a moment because I need to bring up their
Sure.
sheets.
Subterfuge. Composure.
And it is against it.
I don't get any modifiers.
No, you would not have any. So it is. And intelligence. Okay. So I'm just gonna roll that pool.
Mm-hmm.
Difficulty 4.
Okay, difficulty 4. Ooh, I can.
You can spend a point of willpower if you want to roll those 2 dice, yeah.
Yeah, I do. So I'll just roll. They're d10s, right?
Yeah.
210. Nice.
That's 6 successes. There's a moment of silence, of tense.
Yeah. And I think because it's reflexive, she does kind of like a flinch thing upon feeling that. Excuse you?
I did nothing.
Excuse
Miss Bellamy,
you?
I asked you a question.
And she looks over her shoulder at the guy.
He does not even flinch. But he looks... You know, he has the same dead expression since you met earlier. He never showed any emotion. But in that brief instant, you can see in his face just the slightest twitch of his eye.
Mm-hmm. Look, I know I'm a Malk, and I know we've got a bit of a reputation, but I have trained for quite a long time to have a lot of resolve, composure, and fortitude, so that I don't have any incidents like the ones you're referring to.
Well, that is good to know.
Mm.
I do not have any other questions for you tonight.
Mm.
Do you have any?
Oh, I get to ask some questions. Well, that's exciting. So why are you guys here? Like, is it because of the prince? Did he, like, ask you to come down and be like, talk to everyone in Montreal?
I thought you were an associate of Mr. Porter. Did he not tell you the reason why he called us in?
You should, like, double check your notes in that tape recording, because I said I don't really know him all that well. Like, I've dealt with him on, I think, exactly 3 occasions. Not very many.
Good
And
to
one of
know.
them I had bigger concerns at the time, so.
Well, we are here to solve a lot of problems. She
Any
writes-
problems that I should be aware of? Yeah, what does she write?
She writes, not trusted.
Okay.
Well, if you remain a recluse and stay wherever you currently live with doing whatever it is that you like to do.
Instagram,
And
mostly.
keep your-
Lots of scrolling.
So long as you keep your nose out of trouble,
I always do.
if we have need of you, we'll send for you. Otherwise, we can bid you a good night.
All right. Well, I guess. Good luck taking care of things, asking questions to people who know Mr. Arthur.
And she stands up. Michael walks up almost mechanically, begins to put away everything in the briefcase.
Mm-hmm. And before, like, they hit stop on the tape recorder, I'm like, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I, like, point out the channel.
The Colonel sighs.
I just look a little smug. It's my last dig at the Toreadors. It's my
And she will bid you a good night and then leave. They basically just walk down, like, all the roads.
Yeah. To their limousine.
Yeah.
I sit there and I'll watch them walk away and
They
drive
talk for
off.
a moment in the parking lot.
Uh-huh.
before they
Do I
eventually
hear what they're
charge
saying with my badass
They are
awareness? now?
very far away, but you could, I would say with resolve
'Cause
and awareness,
Mm-hmm.
plus of course your aspects.
Sure.
Let's do
Resolve
a.
awareness. Yeah.
Oh, look, they are, they're like a football field away.
Yeah. And I'll be like
difficulty
picking up my
5.
purse and like slowly meandering. Just, because I can.
Then if you're also walking towards the parking lot, I'd say we'll lower it to 4. Difficulty
Okay,
4.
yeah. Just so that they don't think I can hear them, but I'm trying really hard to hear them. Oh,
Ooh, bestial failure. Is it?
oh,
Yes, right now it would be a bestial failure because not only do you fail, but you rolled a 1 on your hunger die.
ooh, on my hunger die. Mm-hmm.
You can always re-roll some of your rolls if you want to.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll spend a willpower,
Okay.
and I can roll how many dice?
Up to 3.
Up to 3. Okay. And can I re-roll the hunger dice or no?
No, the hunger dice can never be
I
rolled.
didn't think so.
So
okay,
basically
but I
you
can-
have to score at least 1 success on those 3 other dice.
Okay, so I'm going to re-roll the 10, so it's not a crit,
Oh, no,
right?
that's fine. You could just re-roll like the 3 that you failed.
Okay, the 3 that I feel is
That's
still
yeah,
gonna
it's
be
not a
bad.
messy crit. So the way to score a messy crit is you have
Okay.
to have also a 10 in your hunger.
Oh, so I can just re-roll 3. Okay. Hope for the best. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, then there we go.
Yeah, that's so 2 10s, that's automatically 4 successes for 5, 6, 7, 8.
I'm a real good listener. I might
Yeah.
talk a lot by myself, but I'm a really good listener.
She says that Folly Watson was useless. Hunter answers, of course. She's a child of Malkav. Unless she's somehow in the center of it all, she wouldn't even know it herself. They are not the best at organizing anything. And he continues asking Kristen, do you think she could have been making Mr. Porter see those visions? And she just answers, well, we'll have to see. We still have quite a few people to go through, and Mr. Porter did seem to point out to this Tremere fellow, one Valoisant, quite a lot. So I think we should pay him a visit tomorrow, but right now I'm kind of peckish, so let's adjourn. Colonel? She nods. He walks away into like a black sedan that's parked elsewhere and leaves off. She sits in the limo for a couple of minutes. You would have time to walk past it if you wanted.
Yeah, no, I think
Before
I get like a pebble in my shoe, and I'm like, stupid thing. I take it out, and then I, put it back on, I reapply my lipstick, and then I'll walk off. Yeah, I'm taking my time.
And scene.
Yep. I want to look as ditzy.
We're back. Okay. Oof. Had a little Streamlab panic over there. But we're back. So, What would you say if we fast forwarded the clock to the next night, or do you want to clean up the white absolutely tonight? Because you have only a few hours.
He doesn't want to have the white cleaned up or anything. He wants to take the white. He just wants to get information from his boss and then leave. He doesn't want to do any of that. He just wants to be like, okay, what do y'all want from me? And then he wants to go with the white. He's not planning on showering or sponging or anything.
Well, then we'll get to that, because I feel it's gonna get interesting. So the two of you, Flory and Dixon, have made your way out of the sewers and into Arthur's haven. I assume you put the grate back in place after you've left.
Don Henley's Dirty Laundry is playing over the sound system.
And I think Dixon would probably leave the white in the garage, since that's where they sort of leave all their things before they go into, like, and he would take off his shoes before going into the house. And he would just carry them. Politeness, you know. And he would be very careful not to touch anything because it's a little bit smelly. He's not breathing, so he doesn't smell it, but he doesn't want to get Artie's house dirty because Artie's house is very particular. And he would just sort of follow in Flory.
Flory would pull off a little bit, and like, it's odd. She takes the shoes off and she pulls the coveralls off, and she's got like a tank top and leggings underneath. And she's very particular about how she places everything that's currently covered in the sewer, and how she washes her hands before and the way she walks once she's taken all of that off. She never walks back over the same pathway. She ensures that everything that she took off is set to the left. And it's a very precise and metered actions as she does so.
Dixon watches you, looks at himself, just holding his sort of work boots, looks a bit embarrassed, puts it down, right? So he takes off the work jacket he had on. He takes off his overalls. So he's just wearing a pair of boxer shorts.
The minute you start doing that, Flory turns around and she'll turn her back on you.
And then takes off the overalls and he folds them up and he puts them on the ground, folds up the jacket, puts that on the ground. It's just all covered in blood and ripped, right? And then puts the shoes down and takes off his socks because he realizes they might have dunk on him, and wipes his feet off with his socks, puts them there. And then he goes, oh, okay. And his boxer shorts are other people wear other people would think of them as old-fashioned and covering, right? They're not hip or cool, or they're old and baggy. They cover quite a lot of his body, not because that's the current fashion, but that's because it was the much older fashion.
Yeah. When Folly can hear you, and when you stop, when it sounds like you stopped moving around, she'll call out to Rajul. Hamia needs a change of clothes.
No, I just need a towel. I'll give it back.
No, totally needs a change of clothes.
No, I just need a towel.
So still in the full decontamination outfit, respirator, everything, and just there is the sound of a drinks cart being wheeled down that has, on one side of it, there is just a towel, but on the deck below, there's a full change of clothes. As well as at the very bottom, there is a bucket. It smells, well, it doesn't smell like it's going to leave anything on your flesh. And there is an artificial sponge in the bucket as he just wheels everything in.
Oh, I guess we'll do it in the garage then. Okay, what's I got your text on my phone. I don't have the phone anymore. What do you all need?
Flori points to the pile of clothes that she very strategically placed. Still not turning around.
Yeah, you don't want to look at Dixon while he's indecent.
Oh, yes, well, since we're not going inside, so Dixon gets dressed again, and it says, why are you pointing at your clothes?
That's where your phone is.
Oh. So he goes over. May I?
Of course. They're not mine. They're going to get burned.
And he goes and he finds the phone and he puts it in his pocket. I'm fully dressed. So what did you need me for?
Breaking and entering Archons. Possible threat to your safety. Death of Diana. Checking to make sure you're okay. Oh! And Caleb is no longer the Scourge.
Who's the Scourge then?
His adopted protege. The one I'm guessing was former Sabat that he has taken under his wing. I believe the kid's name. It pulls up a pad. I think he's
Jimmy Smythe?
Jimmy, yeah, Smythe. The one
Do
who
I
has
know
the
Jimmy at all?
distasteful.
Sorry, I have several buttons muted because someone keeps trying to eat the mic. You actually know.
He wasn't in Montreal back then. Oh. Dixon is used to not knowing people. He goes, okay. So there's apparently a Sabat who wears a coat made of faces that lives in the sewers.
Great. Oh, boy.
I don't really know much more about it than that, though. I thought you might want to know.
Yeah, no, thank you. That means that there is somebody who is indeed old schooling it down the sewers.
There are apparently more of them there, but I don't know where.
Now, there was mention of a white.
In the
What
garage.
do you want?
Well, we're in the garage because he didn't go inside the
Yeah.
house. Right over there, but you don't need to worry about that.
Anyone that far gone is real hard to say. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's not going to be easy.
Not your responsibility.
All right.
So,
You will let me know if you need anything.
Laura, you said there's another threat, danger to my life?
Well, aside from the Archons and whoever abducted Diane.
Lori
I
said
have
that she was killed.
She was definitely abducted. She may no longer be with us, or she may be on ice. I'm not entirely certain of which.
She did not leave her place of business
Willingly
either willingly
or conscious.
or without or conscious or without a lot of violence.
I'm suspecting Sid at this point, but I'm not entirely certain.
Valid.
Who's Sid?
Oh, he's the Tremere who's holding the
Tremere.
reins of a gargoyle.
Oh,
Seems to be buddy with the prince. And given the peculiar situation of having a Tremere that still has a gargoyle,
find out if the gargoyle. Did you find out if the gargoyle was bound or there voluntarily?
Not yet. Getting a conversation with the gargoyle as well as observation of Sid hasn't been something I've been able to do yet.
That's because you burned your bridges with the Camarilla. You did all that work to get in there and then you just tossed it.
I still have some gateways, and with the Archons inquiring, I need to keep my nose clean. But it was the quickest way to follow through on my series of promises. But Flory is very right. I let obsession get in the way of seeing the bigger picture.
So, what do you need from me? I'm gonna need a couple of days to heal before I can go out.
You know, I could kind of patch that up in the meantime, but I can't do a full heal.
No, it's fine. It just takes time.
All right. Well, in the meantime, just be aware that somebody else is moving. And I don't know if it's the prince, if it's Val. I need to get my head on straight. Right now, it's rather difficult.
But what do you mean someone else is moving? I don't understand.
The Archons were
There's a lot
real
more
concerned.
pieces. There's a lot more pieces on the field than I understood. I need to take a step back, reevaluate, go through the OODA loop, as it were. And then once I'm ready to act, do so, but with better advisement. But just try and keep yourself safe, Dixon. And again, with that, just be very careful. I have some restraints if you need them.
No, it's okay. State.
Yeah, but if you're going to bring them around, they have a lot of fighting.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah. It kind of takes me back. One of the Pack's old initiation rites was finding a light and subduing it.
There are
So-
a bunch of them in the sewers, apparently.
I'm not surprised, but I am surprised that Caleb has left them to wander free.
Well, again, you know my opinion on Caleb is not that positive.
Yeah, but if there's a number of them running around down there, and he hasn't tried to rally the troops, as it were, to start a cleansing, it means he finds them useful. That's good
Yeah.
to know.
He might not know about them.
He's a Nos. It's on the underground of Montreal. If he didn't know about them, I would think he's not a Nos anymore. But no, you just take care, and if there's anything that I can do, let me know. Meantime, I'm going to reassess things and see about having We'll have dinner with the commissioner.
Is that a Camarilla title?
No, the actual commissioner.
The police
again.
commissioner.
Oh, police.
Getting-
Oh, thank you.
Getting the one thing that I can do right now that the Camarilla is exquisitely bad at, especially in this city, is work the kind.
Well, if they only just got here, I imagine they're gonna do that, right?
They will, but with the Archons snooping about, people are very quickly trying to cover their asses. So I have it up in them.
So, Van is taken or murdered. Glory thinks by the Lasombra, the Premier.
I hadn't thought about this song.
There's a Lasombra that hung out at the Elysium. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, she's a keeper through and through. But didn't think she would be one to abduct Diane. Unless there's past history there I don't know about.
Like I said, there are multiple people with multiple motives and opportunity and means.
Yeah, but
We don't
This-
know enough.
given what we saw, my initial thought was Sid, but damn it, I'm going to need to get Fredo up here.
I
you can
think
at
it's
least-
Galois.
Nah.
I'm not
gonna
ruling him
completely-
out. He's just further down my list.
Valois, from the times I've interacted with him, he is slow and deliberate. What we saw in Diane's place of the jungle, that was neither slow or deliberate. That was improvised.
Well, oh, and boy, you don't need to come looking for me. And probably you shouldn't, because there are Archons who are out to get me. If I go missing, I'm probably captured. And if you come looking for me, that will implicate you, and that'll put you on the bad side.
Already
I
on
wouldn't
their bad
recommend it.
side.
There's
Yeah.
a difference between harboring a fugitive and not.
Oh. You think that I'm not a fugitive to them?
Well,
It's very
They let
kind
you
of you. I
leave.
appreciate. Huh?
they let you leave.
Mostly because we were under the seal of quasi guest right at the time.
They're going to do
Nonetheless.
what they're going to do to protect the town.
Yes.
Right. So
Right now-
don't come looking for me if I go missing. That's all.
Yeah, no. If they've nabbed you, it's because they want a scapegoat
Yeah.
or a cover up.
Yeah. I've been saying that all along.
Yeah. And you're right. But I don't think that's going to happen just yet. Because I have a feeling they're going to be kicking over rocks and they're going to actually find something. If nothing else, given the colonel's disposition, I'm certain he's going to upset a bunch of people and they're going to kick over a rock.
Who?
The
One
asshole
of the
who was
Archons.
creepy.
One of the Archons has forgotten his manners in his old age.
He's also apparently still thinks he has a military title.
I'm certain he didn't earn that while he was kind. I think that was bestowed upon him when he became kindred. He just holds to that as part of his persona.
And people say that the roses are supposed to be beacons of art.
No,
Uh,
they're not beacons of art. They're creatives or posers. They only come in two flavors.
I mean, they don't know how to vogue, so I don't know if they could be posers.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I have to write a book at this point.
We're fixing this. You don't know Madonna?
The religious
Not-
figure?
No, I didn't say the
What
Madonna.
happened to
I
you
said
during the
Madonna.
80s?
I was traveling.
How did you
And
miss
you-
Madonna?
She was
Or shit.
everywhere.
Cher?
Hear what?
You cannot be serious.
Do you want me to share something? I mean, I can
No,
share
Sure,
more.
Snap
that's-
out of
no.
it.
No, I am shocked and appalled. I'm gonna go
I
and
have a list. We're fixing this.
I'm gonna go and sniff some liquor. I'm in a mood.
Hey, I don't. I have to get my. I don't know if I can. My bike's probably taken now.
You're gonna have the murder van.
Yeah,
No.
you can take the panel
No.
van.
No, that's okay.
How
It's too
else are you going to
obvious.
transport the dead body?
Give me a sec. What year is the game again? We're in 2014.
2014.
14.
Yeah.
How else are you going to move the dead body?
Go back in the stores.
Actually, chances are your bike is safe. Because for the past 5 years, one of the rare initiatives that the city has taken to help people reach their home faster, to avoid, the rashes of kidnappings that happened, was a bicycle sharing system. And you have them a little bit everywhere, all over the island, especially closer to downtown, kind of where you are. And so if people want to steal bikes, it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. But like, those bikes are right there.
And we also have like Max at our security in the area, but he
Yes.
he left it in the middle of the street, so he can't go back there. I'll just take the sewer.
We'll just take the van.
That van is obvious.
All right. Do you want something less obvious?
No, I'm just gonna take the sewer.
You can take the Crown Vic. No one is going to blink an eye at that thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna stink it up. I'm gonna just
It's also got
Go.
like a 3 Hoffa trunk.
Oh, that one's the 4. It's a Landia.
yeah, a 4 hop a trunk.
Yeah, the amount of dead bodies you can fit in the trunk.
Why are they called Hoppas?
Jimmy Hoffa. Teamster, unionist, really in
No.
with the mob, pissed off a bunch
No.
of CIA guys, ended up very, very dead.
What decade?
Mid to late 70s, depending on who you talk.
Oh.
I'm
What?
getting you a library card.
I have a library card. Well, I used
Apparently, you're
to.
not using it. Look, you can get newspapers in the library. They sit out right front in the little thing with the wires and it hangs over the front. And they're like, you can get 4 different languages.
Yeah, but they don't talk about Jimmy Hoffa in the newspapers.
They did in 1970.
Wasn't anyhow.
He went
I'm
missing.
gonna.
Although, really, he's not really missing. He's supporting the Meadowlands, but that's an entirely different story.
So I'm gonna go. If you need something, send the message. It'll take me a while to get here because I'll have to walk. It'd be better
You
if you
just want
don't
me to
message
get you
me.
a flip phone again? Is that going to make
No.
communication easier?
My flip phone's gone. So
I can get you
Yeah.
a new one.
I'll
No,
get you a
it's okay.
bummer.
No, it's okay. So give me like 4 or 5 days, and then I should be able to be in public again. And if you need me, just message me on the phone. It take me a while to see it, but then I will, and then I will make my way over.
All right. Take care.
And once I'm back, I will be back to patrolling. Just let me know.
You try and have a restful 5 days.
Well, I'm gonna have to go and feed, heal. You know.
All right.
And no, you don't. None of you think so, and that's okay. But for my money,
Certain it's all about law.
yeah,
I'll keep that in mind.
I don't think he's
Yeah.
off the list. I just think he's further down the list. I'm not ruling him out.
yeah. You all have thoughts about his character that don't match my thoughts about his character.
Oh, I think he's an asshole and a scum-sucking piece of shit. But I also think he's a coward at the base of it. Now,
You think he's a
if
coward,
Diane...
and you think he's too slow.
Oh no. Well,
No. Artie thinks he's too slow.
He's
no.
deliberate.
Here's my thing. If Diane had been abducted or disappeared from somewhere that wasn't her very public
Domicile.
location,
Yeah.
he'd be higher on my list. He's not off the list. I still have to go and investigate him. Although I don't
Yeah,
know why
if-
I would, because I don't really care about Diane.
If there hadn't been a shootout, because that's the thing. Valois could have gotten close without Diane pulling the gun. I think this was more than one individual, and they weren't several.
Valois is at least smart enough that he would really wanted Diane to be either dead or abducted. He'd do it. He would be able to get close enough that she wouldn't have pulled the gun on him.
Well,
She didn't view him as a threat, which was not necessarily the smartest thing on Diane's part. I do think Valois can be a threat. I just don't think that this particular
certainly.
instance, he is at the top of the list. You are correct, however, he is not off the list. Because you are smart and know not to rule anyone out until you can actually prove that they have an ironclad alibi.
well, yeah, no, that's a bit more systematic than I was thinking.
Oh, just for the record, I didn't kill Diane.
I know. I also know what your fee would have been for that, and I don't see anyone here cutting those checks.
Good.
All right. Cool. You all have a good night. Before you're welcome to stay. Dixon,
No, I
I
have
know
a-
you won't,
That's okay.
but you're welcome.
Plans.
Oh, well, enjoy your evening. I will destroy the evidence that's left behind systematically and then get some sleep.
I'm gonna go grab a bite and then put things away. It'll just be a little bit difficult for me to get back and forth until I'm a
That's
little bit
why I
less.
suggest taking the Crown Vic hat off. The windows are all heavily tinted, and the seat is designed to fold down so you can hide yourself in the trunk.
Yeah, I got a place. So
All right.
let me know. I'll keep the phone somewhere where I can see it, and I'll check in on it. If I see a message, I'll come.
All right.
Just
Yep.
be safe.
Catch you all later.
Yeah, Flory will wait, smile, nod. As she walks, she'll pick up the sponge from the bucket and squeeze it over all of the clothes that are laying there. And again, walk around everything so she never crosses the trail of what she walked in, or crosses any of the trail of what Dixon made as he walked in.
Ori,
And then she's-
seriously though, can't come after me because that was all the evidence they'll need to get.
Have a good night, Tamia.
Hey,
Rest well. Stay hidden.
I will.
And she's gonna get in the vet. And nice thing about a vet at 3:30 in the morning.
Makes an awful lot of noise.
No, it doesn't.
Or you can.
Not if you take care of it. What the hell are you doing to the muffler on this thing?
What few Corvettes I've seen at 3:30 in the morning here, they were there to make noise.
That's not the way that car should be treated. Now, if you want to hype the engine, that's an entirely different thing, and you should be doing that at red lights and possibly in a drag race. Not that I'm encouraging anyone on the internet to engage in illegal or illicit behavior involving drag racing.
I mean, it's not like they didn't make 10 movies making it look awesome.
That's not a vet.
No, but drag racing.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
They also made an
technically it's straight
entire
racing,
TV
but-
series on drag racing, but it's a different type of drag.
It's true. It's true.
This is true. There is technically a series about street drag racing if you twist an understanding of it and go back to the actual definition of the term.
But is there drag queens drag racing? Get on that,
No.
Netflix.
The only queen who's involved in that street racing is a girl named Daisy Duke, and she kicks everybody's ass. But no, she at 3:00 in the morning, you can really open up and not worry about pretty much anyone on the street.
It's fairly quiet at 3:34.
Nixon's gonna have to kill someone before he goes to sleep.
Ooh.
He has to feed.
I like how the subtitle said that Nixon needed to kill someone, which...
Nice. Nice. He has to go feed because he's at 3, and if he wakes up and then he'll be at 4, and that's no good.
Oh,
so he has to take care of that.
We'll end tonight
And
with this then.
When he wakes up, he's gonna have to go kill. He just has to kill somebody because he has to heal the body.
Well, you say kill. Do you mean potentially accidentally kill, or you were out?
He doesn't
to
care.
Kill.
No, he just doesn't care. He's killed every single person he's fed from the last 2 times he's fed from people because he has humanity and 4 just does not care about them. The only thing he cares about is he just doesn't do it in his old neighborhood. He goes far away from there.
There's an awful lot of houseless people, depending on where you go more towards the
south.
Yeah, the downtown area. You might also have at 3:30 people coming out of clubs, people going into after hours. That's if you want to have your blood spiked with a little something something.
Listen, like around like Lachine, LaSalle, Rapids Park.
Are you going there on
Little
foot?
Dorval. We're going to take the sewer and then pop out when we get close enough to the water because we're going to be following the sewer down to the water line anyway. That's the easiest way to get out. And I'm sure there's somebody like go and feed from them. And if they die, they die, to quote Ivan Drago from Rocky IV.
Yeah, no, you can make your way to LaSalle. From what I know of LaSalle, probably not the best place to find someone at this time of night. Côte Saint Paul, probably more. Closer to Verdun.
Anywhere around there would be fine, actually. I mean, well, actually, Verdun, I would like to avoid that. I'd like to get bit more southern, if I could.
Well, the southern you go, the more it's gonna start looking like the suburbs.
As long as I can get somebody on the along the water side that's maybe taking a stroll.
Then that would still bring you closer to St. Henry, Little Burgundy, or Verdun.
Okay.
There's a quite a few like tents or shelters that are pitched by the houseless population along the Lachine Canal. That way they get out of like downtown for the night.
Yeah.
Or the day.
I'm also fine with Griffintown, La Ronde. That's okay too.
Cool.
Anywhere along the
I don't know if
Notre
you said
Dame.
La Ronde, but like you definitely
La Ronde?
don't want to go there.
Why
La
not?
Ronde is a theme. It's the Six Flags.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it's gonna be closed. Griffintown, you're gonna have a few people because it's being aggressively gentrified, and it's basically like free squatting places for a lot of people because these old, like early 19th century brick houses, for the most part. Yeah, but they're all
they're not mighty. They're not letting it all hang out.
I have no idea what you're referring to.
Brick house. Anyway, he'd like to
Dixon's
go
not
in.
supposed to know anything about music.
Dixon doesn't know anything about that sort of thing. He was most in the sticks for
But
most
you're,
of the time.
you're looking mostly for slums because you want that sweet, easy difficulty, right?
Yes, I do. And also, it's more likely I'll be able to get the residents that I like.
Oh, yeah. In this case, I'm just going to check something.
I think it's I think that's
okay. It
Strength
will
brawl?
It will be strength brawl if you want, or dex stealth, depending on how you approach the person. There's a social one, but I don't think you're gonna go the social route.
no, I'm at -4 to all of my dice with kind.
And
it's no good.
Specifically right now, it is going to be for tonight difficulty 3 instead of 2.
Okay.
As you realize as you get closer to your feeding grounds, that there's a lot more cops on the streets than there was, say, yesterday or last week. And it's not that they're converging anywhere.
They're just
it's
more around.
Yeah.
And just for the record, I'm feeding from different neighborhoods. Like I'm not trying to ever hit the same spot because I don't need there to be a pattern. You know. Messy critical.
That's a lot of successes.
That's 6 successes.
And it's not like you can't change that.
I can't. There's nothing I can do about that one. That's a messy critical.
Yeah, no, that person dies.
Nice.
I will ask you to roll willpower for me.
Okay.
So that would be just resolve and composure.
Oh, I have a willpower button.
Oh, there's a willpower button. Okay, well, that's even better. I forgot that there was that.
1 success.
Which is a fail. Which means that for this specific messy critical, once again, your beast took over. And you are brutal feeding out of that person.
I just ripped them to pieces.
Huh?
I just ripped them to pieces.
Oh yeah, you shop vacked a homeless person. You will regain all of your hunger. You've messily killed someone in an area that was also patrolled by the police. So you can give yourself a stain for not respecting the community.
So 3 stains, yeah?
Oh no, wait. 1 for that, 1 for collateral, 2 stains
And then
for
2
the
for the
kill,
murder.
1 for the brutal kiss, because I'm going to give you that as a consequence
5.
of your messy crit.
Into it.
So those are 5 stains.
And also, I will just, once I'm done, I'll brutalize the body more to make it look like you know, like some sort of
Actually, I
not
would
like
say
the vampire did it.
this
but, like-
person, once you're done with it, just to give you like a picture before
Yeah.
it decide if you want to brutalize them or not. You've eaten in their neck so much that it could easily pass for to a human. It could look like it was mangled by like a wild dog in his sleep. The head is still attached
Yeah.
to the spine, but there's a massive hole.
Yeah.
There's blood all over the place. It looks like the person was mauled by an animal.
Well,
You can take the
Then I'm
time
gonna-
if you want.
I will maul other parts of the body, so it's not just the neck, like the leg. I will just like gnaw on the leg a little bit. It's just gnaw on other parts of the body, because if it's going to look like a wild dog did it, wild dogs will not just hit the neck. So just like,
Yeah.
you know,
Just a point though. Quick aside. You remember how I really wanted a T-shirt with a chibi image of Flory saying "Ravnos out"
Yeah.
and fling herself by the window. Now I
Yeah.
also want one of Gremlin Dixon with a leg, the leg of a guy in his mouth, just going. Arr! I really need to find chibi artists, and then I'm gonna need to find something for Arthur.
because, you know, he does have a specialization in cover up. So he's like, okay, let me make this look less
Can you make that
like a
roll?
vampire. That'd be subterfuge plus.
In this case,
What?
wits, because there's a few hours before sunrise. Like it don't really have much time, and it will be against a difficulty 3 again.
Got 2 out of 3, so I'm going to spend my willpower to re-roll those 3, and maybe I will get what I need. We'll call this Mad Dog.
Mad Dog Dixon.
Yep, that would be a 4,
right.
5, 6.
Yeah, it's well covered enough. You put the body back in like, you know, you just throw him back against the wall in the sort of little shelter he had built for himself. And from his shopping cart, you grab, like, there were like boxes of like food, like cookies
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
The half-eaten remains of a sandwich that was still passable, and other stuff like that. They just like throw about everywhere, flip the caddy over, and be on your merry way.
Yeah, feel better. I mean, I have a lot of healing to do. That's just going to take up a lot of blood. So, and then I sort of, because I'm close, right? So I grab my white friend carefully and gently. You know, I don't want to hurt them. And then I leave this carnage behind as I slip off into the night to go to where I sleep.
I just need to check something. Yeah.
I have a whole process.
Okay. Nope. That's gonna be it for me for tonight. I don't have to add anything right now. Perhaps next week.
I have to make my remorse test, though.
Yes. Well, we're gonna end with the remorse
Yeah.
test.
I only get to roll 1 die.
You're
let's
down
see how
to
it
you're down
goes.
to. Oh no, because of 5 stains out of 6.
Mm-hmm. Nope. Humanity 3.
Oof. Oof.
I don't feel bad about it at all.
Nope. But the spiral is closing on you.
I just take my white friend and I go to my the place that I can stay where it's safe.
And with you looking closer and closer to your payload, we're going to end tonight's session. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you players. for taking time off your Monday to come indulge in my vampiric game. Thank you, chat, for being here. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for all of this. Thank you for the raid. Hawkeye, thank you, Deirdre, for showing me how to shout at people in the future. Very useful. And I'll leave the mic to you. Players, we'll do the same in order as we did the intros. Tell us who you are, where we can find you, what you have going on in between now and next week.
I think that started with me.
Started with you. Yeah.
I'm Trooper SJP, and I was playing Dixon, who is now a Humanity 3 vampire. So I have got lots of space to eat. And it says, you callously step over anyone and anything, stopping only to indulge a new hobby for cruelty. You take the safe route, the pragmatic route, and you just kill witnesses, and you don't risk trusting anyone you haven't gotten your talons into somehow. You genuinely look monstrous, even under the most flattering light. So really, I probably should not be hanging out in public anyway. And
yeah, I will say there's a little thing here that
4 dice penalty.
Your 4 dice penalty with humans do not apply if you're trying to scare them.
Oh, that's nice.
Because
yeah,
it would be kind of weird that you look like a monster and yet would not get bonuses to intimidate.
Yeah.
Because like I remember the flaw that I used to love in previous editions, which was predatory looks. If you look like a monster, you should get the bonuses to scare people shitless.
Yeah. And it was lovely. I want to give my love to Trax for the deliberate and very small but very important details that she brings to Flory at all times. From how she stacks the pebbles to making sure she doesn't cross over death, right? Just all of the small pieces that are perfect. They're perfection about the way that she plays Flory. And Artie's sort of complicated relationship to the world around him is amazing to watch. The ways in which he doesn't quite. He's trying to get his mojo back, and I hope he does. He's like I'm gonna get my mojo back. He's ready for it. I hope his like beast problem is sort of taken care of, and he's all good and back to normal, because that would be lovely, because he seems like he's back to his normal self. So that's good. And you can find me tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern over at my channel, Trooper SJP, for Motor City Hollow Crowns, the second episode of 8 of a special Vampire the Masquerade non-canon campaign set in Detroit, 1973. And then on Friday, you can find me on my channel at 7 p.m. for Eastern for The Gamblers, which is our Traveler Pirates of Drynex campaign, sci-fi. And then Sunday, you can find me over at Praxis channel, Praxagora Thesmophoria, at 8 p.m. Eastern for Carousel Court, when we hit 1952. And we see how that's going to go. That's me.
Thank you for coming, sir. I had to briefly step away. Flory.
Well, that's a great transition. Hey, everybody. I'm at Deirdre Donlan on Twitter, or Praxagora Thesmophoria, as you see me around here on Twitch, or Prax the Bard over on Hive and Instagram. You can find some stuff I'm doing over there. And I'll say, first of all, I appreciated the entire conversation with Dixon and Enzo and Luciana, excuse me. Not Lucia, Luciana. And it's
different opera.
Yeah. I need somebody to do a thing so that I can do a thing, and so I can see a thing by performed by a thing, but that's an entirely separate thing, and I'm not going to get into details. But what a really great opera. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Makes revenge opera a lot of fun. But I appreciated every moment of that. I loved the little moment with Artie, where we can see like the growth of Artie's belief in his relationship with Dixon, where it's like, I'm not going to try and stop you, I'm going to give you the options, but then I'm still going to encourage you because I want to try and gain back your trust, whether it really is lost or if I can get it back, which is like perfectly balanced, and I loved every minute. Also shout out to Lindy and the beautiful relationship with Folly, and I'm just like, aw, see, Malkavian and the Ravnos both know that the Toreadors are pretentious assholes and need to be taken down a peg or 6. So that was a beautiful gift, Simon. Thank you. But I love where this is going, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Into the ground. I mean, that was for Dixon.
Look. Look.
But thank you for coming. I mean, hey, look.
Hey, wait, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
Sorry.
Stop. Anyways, you can find me on my channel on Sundays at 8 p.m. Where we're doing Carousel Court. We're jumping to 1952, and if you check out on YouTube, over on my YouTube page, I posted in the community channel a poll to see who will win the election of 1948, because it'll be really important. And I have world building to do based on that election, to see what happens in 1952. But if you could check it out and see what's there and let me know what you all think. You can also check my Twitter and watch all of that, because I post where I'm going to be and the fun, wonderful, fabulous folks like these people I get to play with and tell stories with and all of these fun things. I will also say that I had a brilliant idea after last session from last night, and I am working very diligently to make this idea into a reality.
On that note, hey everybody, Pope here. Pope World Bill on Twitter, Pope World Bill on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. First business, then pleasure. If you want to see more of this silly face, Braxworth as before on Sunday. 52 is a very interesting year. Also, in that gap, a very important thing happens. Or does it? It's called the Korean War. And
that's yet again a thing that may or may not happen, which is why I need this vote.
No, it is exceptionally important to not just the little cul-de-sac, but the world at large. So definitely tune in to see what's happened. And it's the 50s, folks. It's time for, going to the ice cream parlor, hitting up the diner, the drive-in. A bunch of people are going to have teenage kids. There's going to be problems. So don't miss it. And then be back here Monday as the problems just keep mounting. Whether it's, Simon just sprinkling little things like there's somebody wearing a cloak of faces, and that there is many, and I am taking that to mean lots, a la Shaun of the Dead. So there are lots of whites in Montreal's sewer system that Caleb's done nothing about. So there are many questions there. I don't think we'll get the answers anytime soon, until somebody has a very unfortunate accident. Also, much respect for both Enzo and Luciana. The going between those voices and having that dynamic there was beautiful, snappy, and I want to somehow have a legitimate excuse to interact with them, but I know I have no reason to ever cross their path. And that's probably a good thing. And then Flory just being the consummate professional at all times, and probably the only reason that the city is not on fire just yet. So we'll see if that continues, because here's the thing, folks. Shoes have been dropping on Artie and on Dixon. Shoe hasn't dropped, not even the first one, for Flory.
It's not the Ravnos' fault, so I wouldn't even worry about it.
No.
If a
So you
shoe
think-
drops in an empty street of Montreal, do the kindred hear it?
Simon, you already know the answer to that.
Well, aside from those with aspects.
Someone's always listening.
Oh, I know.
And
Don't worry, the tally is being kept.
honestly, the clock is ticking. And anyone who knows the Ravnos and their luck eventually runs out. And Dixon, a consummate vampire story. Because there you see the bits of Lucky that are still there, but they're falling apart. And the callousness and casualness of murder is becoming a daily thing. And there's a really big question to have answered. Kept the light. What's going to happen there? Because, yeah, you can, in theory, rescue one of those. Theory. But when one thing that's gone completely to the beast versus someone who's almost there, does it end just in death, or does it end in something even worse? Only time will tell. So thank you all for being here with us. We're live, VOD, YouTube. The store is nothing without its audience. You're much part of this as we are. Take care of yourselves and one another. Tell your precious ones that you love them. Happy Pride, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you everyone for coming. As for me, again, same spiel as last week. Everything is being up in the air for Scion, so I'll let everyone know on social media when that happens. Otherwise, it's next Monday here for some more Vampire the Masquerade. Behind the scenes, I might be working on a fall campaign of something. I think I'm going to fully embrace the dark and run something dark. Again, not grim dark, but dark. I like my nights cold and dark, my streets rainy, and my buildings crumbling. On that note, thank you to my players, thank you to chat, thank you to Folly, well, Lindy, for doing this. Next week, we talk to financier Rick Harris. Bet y'all forgot about him. So hey, before we leave, and I cut this stream too short like I did with the break screen, let's just raid our friends over at Magi RPG. And they're playing Storm's King Thunder tonight. So we leave vampires and we go hunt giants. Thanks everyone, and we will see you next week.